Soul workers, hello, I'm Georgina and I'm going to be your food and movement mentor over the course of this academy. And this is the first video, and I have been reflecting on what can we do in our body to really help our soul bring forth its purpose. And of course the general answer is let's eat really well and exercise and do things like mindfulness and all of those really obvious things. But I want to get a bit more specific and think about, like, is there an actual part of our body that is really related to the soul? And there actually is. And what has come to me is two main areas of our body. So the first one being our hips, and the second one being our chest. And I'll explain why that's come up for me and why I think that my first video for you is going to be about that. So looking at movement. So the hips symbolize moving forward in this life. It's stability and moving forward. And when we think about our hips and how we live our day-to-day life, you know, we might be sitting at a desk all day, or we might be driving the car a lot, or we might be getting home from a desk job and sitting on the couch. And our hips then become quite tight and restricted. And our gait, and what I mean by gait is our movement pattern, can also become restricted and tight. And that can actually translate into how we're living our life and how we are in life. Now there's actually a muscle. I'm going to try and do this with holding this viewfinder, but I'm going to put it down at some point to help demonstrate what I want to talk about. So we have a muscle that attaches our legs to our torso. It's the only muscle in our body that actually attaches legs to torso. So it's a very significant muscle. It's called the psoas muscle. That's spelled P-S-O-A-S, the psoas or psoas. And that starts from it's a very deep-seated muscle. So it starts from the thoracic and lumbar spine and runs down our groin and attaches to our thigh bone, the femur. And it's very deep-seated. It's very hard to get that massaged or palpate it. And reading some spiritual texts, that muscle is known as the seat of the soul. So that's very apt for us, isn't it? A muscle that's actually known within the metaphysical and spiritual realm as the seat of the soul. And our psoas muscle, when we're sitting too much, can become weak and overly tight and restricted. And therefore, if we think of that symbolically in our life, that's not exactly how we want the seat of our soul to be, do we? We want it to be lengthened and flexible and free. So I might actually do this video in two parts so that I can actually demonstrate. So what I will demonstrate is ways that we can strengthen and lengthen our psoas muscle, the seat of our soul. And the other area of our body that I think is very apt for us as soul workers is our chest. Our chest is our heart chakra space. It's protecting our heart. And depending on your belief, some say our soul actually resides in our heart as well. So with today's society, we again, like with our hips, We can be living our day-to-day very restricted, hunching over, sitting at a desk. So we're closing up that heart space. And that's not going to be optimal to bring forth our soul purpose. So I will come in again and show you some lovely awakening and opening exercises for our chest, and expand our love, expand and open up to receiving love, to self-love, and to be able to give love. And if we've got lovely, strong, solid, flexible posture, that we're leading with our heart and we're open and expanded, then, you know, I think we've got a really good chance of providing the optimal environment for our soul to grow and to shine and to come forth. I hope you agree. I hope what I'm saying is actually making sense. So I will come in and demonstrate those two ways of opening and expanding our hips and our chest. Now I'll be traveling with you on this journey. I'm very excited. I want you to know that I'm always going to be here. If you've got any questions, please either get onto the Facebook group and ask your question on there and I'll come in, or you could private message me as well. But I'm sure if you have any questions, there might be other soul sisters out there with the same or similar questions. So please share. We're all going to learn from this. So another big message I want to bring through for you is I really would love you to be very mindful about moving your body every day. Moving the body every day. So we open to expansion, and physiologically we're moving blood, we're helping our bodies detox, we're helping hormones and getting beautiful endorphins happening through our body, and that helps energize us and makes us feel good. I mean, you all know this, but it's even a good reminder for myself. I've gone through Ross River virus and I have found movement very, very hard. So I'm learning again as well. So this is all learning for me as well as for everyone out there. So as the days and the weeks go by in the academy, I really want you to literally tick off every day that you have moved. And I don't just mean, moving from the car inside. I mean actively moving. So that might be going for a walk, walking to school, walking to the shops, taking the stairs. I don't want to make it too complicated. I don't want to say you need to be doing 2 to 3 weight sessions a week, or you need to do this and you need to do that. It needs to work for you. And so if that's joining up that yoga class that you've been wanting to do, and even better still, if that yoga class is working on opening your hips up and your chest up, then that's brilliant. So my message is, let's try and move every day. Really, if you can sweat every day, that's amazing. And over the course of these next 6 months, I will talk about exercise in more depth and why it actually is good to do some strength training or your resistance training, which is your own body, using your own body weight, especially as women. And I'm nearly 40, and so especially for someone of my age, to actually have some lean muscle mass is a very, very good thing, and it helps very much hormonally with producing human growth hormone, which helps with menopause as well. So let's take it back to simple, achievable steps, and let's aim consciously to move, sweat every day. I think it's achievable, especially if we're mindful about it. It's something we can do. Yeah, and it's not only going to help us physically, but we give our bodies more of an opportunity to be a healthy, fit vessel for our soul to bring forth its purpose. I just want to show you, look at this. Isn't this a magical place? Anyway, so thank you for listening. I'm going to come in again and show you what I mean by opening the hips up and also the chest. So stay tuned, there'll be another 2 videos coming. Okay, bye bye everyone.